Hello again, or if you're a first-time watcher, welcome. So I'm out on another adventure, a photography adventure, but haven't got the camera with me, so I'm trying something different. I'm in North Wales, and I'm midway between two towns called Mold and Rithin, and the only photography equipment I've got with me is the GoPro and my iPhone. So I thought I'd set myself a bit of a challenge. So it's an 8-mile circular walk, and the only thing I'm going to take photographs with is my iPhone. And the reason I'm doing that is because a couple of people have asked me about taking photographs with mobile phones or cell phones, as the case may be. And I run two Instagram feeds. One is my Instagram feed where I post images that I've taken with my DSLRs. But I also run one where I just post stuff with that I've used with my phone, and I post stuff on Facebook that I've used with my phone. Nice little stream crossing. And people have asked what type of camera did I use to get those images. Well, actually it was with my phone. So I'm going to do this 8-mile walk. I'm hoping I'm heading up that way because those trees look fantastic. And I'm going to try and take some images just with my phone. So need to get my little map out, and let's see how we get on. So I've stopped to take my first image, and you hopefully can see why. In this lovely, it's largely birch woodland, and the floor is just a bronze golden carpet of leaves, but there's also leaves up on the trees still, so it's great. And I'm looking up here, and I'm going to try and take an image with my phone, and I'll try and do it one-handed but the same rules apply about kind of composition and so on and so forth. So there's a nice path leading up here, which I think will be a nice central point for my image. But one of the things you'll find, the phone, I happen to have an iPhone, it's quite good at kind of balancing out images, but I'm just going to, you see at the top of the image here, the sky. Just going to press on the sky to take my kind of reading off the sky, so the sky isn't too bright. Obviously, you just kind of touch the screen for focus and exposure. But I'm also, I came up this way, just looking down here, look at that. That is spectacular. Beautiful autumn, beautiful autumn. So again, just looking down. Now, do I want portrait or landscape? Well, I think I want portrait, on the basis that the trees obviously provide a nice vertical, and the path is working its way down. So again, I'm just going to frame my shot, and I need to, again, so I have to keep putting you a little bit in a funny angle, just touch the sky, because that's the brightest parts of the image. And then I'm going to look down this way. So one of the nice things, I'm looking down here, and I love the colours in those trees. So if I had 3 hands, I'd do this, but I'll just show you, I'm just touching the sky to get, now that's a bit dark in the foreground, so just going to touch somewhere where there's a bit more balance, take the shot, and there we go, some lovely colours. And I should say, I do process my iPhone images, well, some of them. I use Snapseed, so I usually just do a bit of sharpening, a little bit of colour balance, but I've actually got to go back. I came up this way, I've got to go back down this way because I came off the path deliberately to come into this woodland. So quite a good start, and yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This isn't the woodland I mentioned earlier, so I'm hoping to get a bit further up and see into the canopy, but let's see how it goes. I'm about 2/3 into my walk, and not sure I'll be photographing anything here, but I just wanted to show you. Wow, the scale of this. So this is a former limestone quarry, and in fact it was still in operation until, according to my guide, 1994, so not that long ago. But I hope you get the sense of scale, because it's probably a bit deceptive on the GoPro, but wow. I might actually, let's give myself a test. Let's see if I can get an image. Here's a thing that works well on phones, is the panorama function. Now this might be too much of a panorama because it's really wide, but what I'm going to do is start with the cliffs here, maybe just work halfway. So as you probably know, you just click and then pan and maybe stop about halfway, which is about there. Right, I'm going to try now the whole quarry as a panorama, but I think it will be too wide, because what happens is you end up with a really distorted image. So that's the whole quarry, but I think the image, I'll have a quick look on the phone, it's probably a little bit distorted. So, but anyway, I just thought I'd kind of show it to you. Don't want to go too close to the edge because it looks a bit, I'll show you over the edge. Looks like it could crumble at any time. But anyway, going to carry on and find somewhere to have my lunch. I need somewhere to sit down, eat my soup and sandwiches, and got 2 donuts. Don't tell anyone. Got a jam donut and a custard donut. I've come up high now, so I'm completely over the other side of the valley. So up over my head, over my shoulder is another valley. I've come right down across the valley, up the other side, and I'm looking into the Vale of Clwyd. And I'm now on the Offa's Dyke path, which kind of runs the full length of Wales. But here's some, when I'm photographing with my iPhone, these are the sort of things I like to look out for. So got this nice finger post here, and then a view into the Vale of Clwyd. Now, weather isn't fantastic, but rule of thirds apply. So putting the post just on the rule of thirds, try and make sure that's straight. The post's not straight, so trying to get that on the rule of thirds. So I've got a bit of sky, and the sky's quite bright there, so just clicking on the sky. And the nice thing about using the iPhone is you can just quickly switch to portrait mode and go. I don't think there's any particular tricks to using an iPhone for kind of landscape photography. The only challenge is you've not got the same amount of control, because obviously if I was taking a picture here with my DSLR, I'd drop a filter in for the sky, even though it's quite grey, just to darken the sky a little bit. So fortunately the iPhone's quite good at sensing the dynamic range, so it's quite good at knowing what's bright and what's dark and getting sort of mid-ish kind of exposure. But that's why I use Snapseed. So use Snapseed just to give a bit more control. So we're processing Snapseeds to add the kind of effects that I would get using my DSLR that I can't do with the iPhone. So, you know, darken the sky a little bit, which I'd use a filter for when I'm using my DSLR, but I can't when I'm using an iPhone. So I hope that makes sense. So, but it's early November and it's roasting hot. It is really hot. So I've taken my hat off and my sleeves are rolled up, but I'm on the path. Offa's Dyke. Google it. You might find it interesting. What a view! Look at that. Look at the colours here. So you've got some deciduous trees just coming down the valley there with beautiful colours. But then got these pine. I imagine that's larch, kind of changing colour. But then kind of the Scots pine, not changing colour. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But the reason I stopped, well, one, it's a lovely view. Two, I've just eaten my donut, the custard one. It was lovely. But three, I wanted to use this as a demonstration. So I'm going to take a kind of a panorama just to get in this small valley, because I think it's stunning. And one of the things you'll find with phone photography is because you don't have the same control over the aperture and therefore depth of field, they can render a bit flat, and I don't mean in terms of the colour. I mean they look a bit one-dimensional, so very, very flat, because the foreground and the mid-distance and the distance gets compressed. So you've probably found that yourself if you take landscape photographs with your phone, tend to look a little bit flat. So I'm going to take, actually walked down, I came down from up there, I've walked down here, and the reason I stopped here is I want to take an image, a panorama, but to try and overcome the flat issue, I've got to a place where the trees are moving down the valley from that side, but there's also some foreground as well, so hopefully you can see those trees kind of curve to meet there. So hopefully with a combination of some of this foreground with the bracken that's turned orange, and the shape of this valley, it hopefully overcomes some of the flatness. So I'm going to start kind of about where this tree is here. So I'm going to start there and then just pan like that. Not a massive pan, but enough to just told me to slow down, I wasn't even moving. Enough to encompass the colours of there. So hopefully what I get is an image that isn't too flat. It's never going to be the same as having a DSLR or a camera where you can control the aperture and alter the depth of field. Why I was pointing you up the path. But just if you're taking landscape photographs with your phone, always try and bear in mind that composition is really, really important to overcome that kind of sense of kind of flatness, almost as if the landscape is compressed into a kind of a single pane. Hopefully that makes sense. And I want to eat my other donut now, but I'm going to save it because I've got to go up there, I think. Or at least up that way. So I might use that as a treat for when I get to the top, if I get to the top. Well, I'm getting close to the end of the walk, but I've just come across a perfect example of where I do something with my phone that I probably wouldn't do on my camera. So what is it? Can you see? I've already given the game away, I think. Looking up. If I had my camera with me, I probably wouldn't spend, oh, the fly just landed on me. I probably wouldn't spend much time setting up a shot to look up through the tree. Now, that is amazing. It's a stunning canopy of bronze. But if I'm honest, I saw this tree from over in that corner, and if I'd had my my DSLR with me, I probably would have thought, oh, that's a lovely tree. But because I've got my phone and I'm just concentrating on phone stuff, I thought, let's come and look at the canopy. And I'm looking up at the canopy, and I can do lots of things, like just spin like this, just trying out different angles, look at the colours. Quite like that one actually, because there's the way the branch moves across the image. Now it's quite dark, but I can do something about that in, I was going to say, I was going to face Photoshop then. What do I mean? Snapseed, that's the one. But I wouldn't have done that with my camera because, if I'm honest, a bit lazy. I would have thought, oh, by the time I got my camera out, set it up, probably wouldn't be able to hand hold in the same way. I'd have to set my tripod up. I'd probably think, can't be bothered. Because they're not going to be, I'm not going to win any Pulitzer prizes. But I've just come to this, look at that. Look at the colours there. So here we go, here it is. Look, just picking up these colours. I'm going to see if I can focus on there. Look at that, lovely, beautiful. And I don't, I'm not going to win any awards. How about that way? Or that way? Quite like that way. Just a lovely colour. It's not going to win any awards. I actually came to this tree to look up, so I'll eventually get this sentence out. Not going to win any awards, but it's just a nice record of the walk and I'm quite taken with those. If I can move out a little bit, just press to get a focus, and there's a bit of brightness in the sky behind, so I'm going to just press where the sky is bright and then click. You never know, might use them for something. There are a couple of places where you can upload photos from your phone to try and flog them. So anyway, I came off the path, but yeah, I wouldn't have got my camera out and done that. I would have just looked at the trees because they're lovely and then carried on. So it's a nice thing about messing with your phone. Right, got to find a style somewhere now. Almost back near where I started from, so coming to the end of the vlog. So it's just down in this. I'm not sure if you can see, but there's a bit of a mound just down in that valley, and I thought I'd record the piece now because it's quite a busy road when you get down in the valley, and I didn't want the kind of sound of traffic kind of racing all the time. But look at this, look, beautiful colours, beautiful colours. Is that what's known as umber? Don't know. And I think, are they larch? I'm laughing because kind of recently we're doing some clearing out and found my old exam certificates, and found a certificate that says I've got a qualification in rural and horticultural biology. I have no recollection of studying rural and horticultural biology, but I've got the qualification. So, but I used to be quite good at IDing trees and stuff, but if you don't use it, you kind of forget. But anyway, it's by the by, just a bit of a ramble from me. So, almost back. Nice about this walk is it's kind of been an 8-mile loop, and I'm about 40 minutes from home. So it's, because it's November, it's just after 4 o'clock, so it'll be dark soon. So be home in time for have something to eat and watch the latest episode of Doctor Who. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Bit of fun, bit of difference, just using my phone, trying to get some images, and hope you see you on the next one where I'll have my, I was going to say proper camera, my other camera. See you soon. Bye.